Okay, so you will have the chance to get the replay to this as well. So everything that we go through tonight, we're gonna just really immerse ourselves into so that you can get unstuck. Now, for those of you who saw my post earlier today, I shared a picture of me being vulnerable. I was crying today. I had a real cathartic release in really getting unstuck in something that I would say I have personally been stuck in for many years. And although I've done a lot of healing and been on a gorgeous journey, it was something that I was noticing still wasn't shifting for me. And I suppose it's never a surprise that when you're about to teach something or hold space for something, you're going to go through it in your own journey, in your own way. And I know that I had to go through what I went through today because of what I was coming to hold for you all this evening. And not only is it about the energy clearing tonight, but I'm also going to be taking you through a mini workshop so that you can actually get the work done so that the healing is more profound. Okay, we want this opportunity to really allow yourselves to go deep, to utilize this space that we have here together tonight, so that you can get unstuck. And I know for sure that if it's possible for me, it's possible for anyone. And sometimes it's really tough when you're stuck in something and you don't see a way out. You keep on going at all the practices and tools that you've got, but you feel like you're not getting somewhere. And what I want you to just think about for a moment is, what is it that you're stuck in your life? Is it love? Is it relationships? Is it trauma? Is it things aren't unfolding with businesses or money? Or, what is it for you? Right? What are you doing? What do you feel like you're constantly giving your all to that isn't manifesting in the way you truly desire? Inner child trauma for Patricia. Christina says money, business, lack of time to create. Okay. And I want you to all know that tonight, although there's many of you on this call, this is your space and your time. So feel free to share whatever it is, because tonight I'm gonna share with you how much living in the energy of being stuck will be preventing you from having and living the way you truly desire. So, Zoom user says relationships, money, business, moving forward, love. Becky says confidence and motivation in business, limiting beliefs. Okay. So let me just feel into something here, because I'm going to see what let's see what the right energy is here. Okay, so when we're stuck in any area of our lives, the thing that's keeping us stuck is a lie. Okay? So what I want you to just, if it's easier to disconnect from the outside world for a moment, is close your eyes and feel into, what lie are you stuck in? What lie from your past are you holding on to that is creating you living a life of lies? Because let me tell you something, you not living the life you desire, it means you're living a lie. Because you're supposed to have everything that you desire. It was a gift that was given to you so that you could know that it's yours. And if you're not having it, you're living a lie. Okay. Okay, so Claudia says, I don't know the root cause, 4+ years and still the same shit. Stuck in Greece, no moving country, old stories unsolved or solved in slow motion. Okay, Xenia, lie. Okay, Christina, the lies not to have time for what I really want. Okay, I can't, I don't know, I'm not able, I'm not worthy. Yeah, that's some really huge lies here. Okay. So loads of lies. Not capable, I don't have what it takes, I'm not enough. Yeah, Dimi says it's like living in the past. And the thing is that if you're living a lie because you're feeling stuck, you are living in the past. Because there's that part of you that's constantly recreating from that point. Okay, you're constantly defaulting back to the shock or trauma that generated a lie, that you have solidified and then made your life story. And what's really important to understand is there's the truth of the story and there's the truth of you. And the shocker that I'm going to give you now is the two are not the same. The truth of your story is not the same as the truth of who you are. Happiness doesn't matter. My soul made a mistake in coming here. Your soul didn't make a mistake. But that's the lie you're telling yourself. Okay, Mother told me when I was 16 I was nothing without them and I wouldn't be able to do anything without them. Also been told many times I'll never have the life I desire because that only happens for certain folk. Okay. Don't deserve forgiveness that I have to sacrifice myself for my children to be happy. There's so many lies here. So many lies. And this is what's keeping you stuck. Does that make sense? Because if you're upholding the lie, you're having to create other lies or stories of fiction in your life to validate that lie that you first bought into. So where I want you to go now is to the point in which that lie was created. How old were you? And what was going on that made you buy into that lie as real? And I feel like I want to give you some context here to help you understand how to get to the root of this. So earlier today, when I was working through my stuff, and I was looking at, I basically was doing a letter burn, and I was writing out the full experience of my trauma. And as I was writing what happened after the event, I was writing out the sequence that took place. And as I was writing something that I have been fully aware of for years, was that in my moment of trauma, or in the aftermath of it, I was being, what's the right word? I was being spoken to from someone that I loved dearly that was trying to counsel me, to give me love and affection. And her response was that it was other people to blame for what happened to me. And I made that my story for 27 years. I made other people, I met myself and others were to blame for what happened to me rather than what had happened. Right? So in that process, and all that I've healed over the last 13 years has been around healing the blame for myself and others, rather than healing the trauma and healing, let's say if there was somebody to blame, the person to blame. So the lie was being recreated. It's my fault. I'm the problem. It's always come back to me. Now, what's really important to understand here is that if you had an experience where you were victimized, it's really important that you acknowledge the victimization and come out of this spiritual shame that happens within the healing community, that you don't want to be a victim. Because I hear this often, oh, I don't want to be the victim. But if you are victimized, you have to acknowledge it in order to heal it, right? For whatever it is or was that you went through. Now, once you've healed it, you can move away from blame and acknowledge responsibility, right? Because now that we've acknowledged the problem, now that we've healed it, it's now our responsibility in how we move forward. Does that make sense? Okay. So responsibility is at the point in which you acknowledge the problem. Responsibility isn't going, it's my fault that this happened. I attracted that. Life gave you experiences. Life gave you a journey, right? But it's really important to acknowledge what the difference is between responsibility and blame. And any part of you that is taking fault or believing it's your fault that something has happened is going to be solidifying the lie, which makes you stuck in some area of your life right now that you're stuck in. Whatever that is for you, and the list of things that we acknowledged earlier. Right, so I'm just going to have a look at some of these responses that you have here. Okay, so there's a lot of inner child stuff coming up. Okay. So Xenia says, when I was 12, my younger sister was born. I felt like I lost my place, became invisible. Right, so what's the lie that you've created there? That you're not enough, that you can't be visible, that you've been devalued, as if someone can take your place. So how many of you are not recognizing the value and contribution you are to the world, thinking that other people can replace you? Understand something. Nobody can ever be replaced. There are probably now over 700,000 theta healers on the planet. And not any single one of them can do what I do. And I cannot do what any one of those people does, because each and every one of us is gifted in our own way, is magical in our own way. The same with all of you on here. You are all so unique in what you do because it is you. You are the gift, not the modality that you're trained to or aligned with. Okay, not the business that you have. I think, there's at least 50% of the people on this call are partnered with New Skin. Most of you aren't in my organization. We don't do the same thing. But if you keep on seeing it as competition or that you're trying to compete with someone else, you've forgotten the gift of you. And the reason why you've forgotten the gift of you is validating lies like the one that Ksenia acknowledged, being that she became invisible. Or like the lie that I mentioned, that others were to blame. So I punished myself for many years, taking responsibility for something that happened to me as if it was my fault. And that's the lie. And life keeps on showing you that, because that life will show you based on the beliefs that you have. So if you keep on validating a lie, life is going to show you that. And it's going to show you it by, you're going to be living the lie. You're not going to be living your dreams. Okay, so making vows that you're never going to be like your parents are. And then you're shown many occasions that you're exactly like your parents were, because you mimic. We naturally mimic. Okay, so Tiana says, wow, thank you, you're welcome. Patricia, I acknowledge that there's nobody to blame, stuck in resentment. And there's something that I want to address about resentment, because I think it's underplayed. And the reason why I think it's underplayed is because we don't acknowledge that the simplicity of resentment is that something was unfair. Now, if you acknowledge that was unfair, that was unfair, and if that younger part of you went through something that was unfair, you need to acknowledge that it was unfair. And as you acknowledge that, you let go of the potency of the poison that resentment is. Okay, so a lot of inner child stuff. Ksenia says that my voice has no matter. I don't have a place in the world. Okay. Inner child, yes. Mine was fed a lot of lies of what she can and can't do. Okay. So how much of your reality today are you basing upon those lies? So that you're deciding, oh, I can't do that. If I couldn't do it then, I'm not going to be able to do it now. Holly says, scared to be replaced, easily replaceable. Let me tell you something. People can go to other people, but you're not replaceable. You're not. Because there is no other you. There's only you that is you, right? And that's, the significant part of Really Simply You. Right? That's why it was formed in that way. It's because it's you. There is no one else. Right? And until you really understand the power of you, the beauty of you, the ability of you, you're always going to be stuck in lies. Because the true ability that you haven't even touched yet. You haven't even seen an ounce of what you're capable of because of being stuck in these lies. And I'm going through this process this evening and inviting you to share what it is that you're stuck in, what the lies are that you're telling yourself, so that when we go into the meditation shortly, we can really extract all of this crap, because it is pure lies. Emma says, definitely question, who am I to want this thing, or actually end up having the money goal. Sorry, having the thing, the goal, the money. Right. So what lie created the question of doubt within you? And a light bulb moment from Kirsty. We love those. More of those, please, universe. Okay. So the next question I have for you is, what or who are you blaming for the outcome of your life? Is it yourself? Is it others? Okay. Okay. Parents, a lot of parents, sisters, family, mum. Okay. Myself. Okay. Let's bring up all those people. Let's bring up the energy of them. Okay, because anywhere that you're holding blame, you're stuck in that. And that is sticking you further in the lack. Okay. And now I want you just to take a minute to either write down or be in the awareness of, what is it that you're stuck in right now that you hadn't acknowledged at the beginning of the call? Okay, so poverty, boredom, relationship with the creator, stories of the mind, the past, parent stories, feelings of incompleteness. Okay. Comparison, the past. Yeah. Fear. So bear with me a moment as I feel into this. Okay, so in getting unstuck, right, so we're going to release all this icky energy, the lies, the stories, all of the distortions that you've created that have resulted in living life the way it is now. And as we do that, what do you feel life will be like as you get unstuck? Okay, so easy life. Okay, Jamie, go beneath the fear. More fulfilled, attracting what I desire to me. Ease, flow, and joy. Being in the flow, and everything will just naturally gravitate towards me. It'll be uncertain. Okay. Okay, spiritual healing is alive. Okay. Okay. And what got you stuck in that lie, Sogadi? Okay, so if you're feeling blocked at the moment, can you please get some water? And then I would like you to just simply be in awareness. If you get unstuck, what does that gift you with? What would life be like for you if you weren't stuck? If there was flow and ease, and what would that be like for you? What would you have? Okay, so Emma says, easy, just knowing and trusting and living in abundance rather than chasing after it. More flow, letting the universe do its thing for me. I would not know how to operate them. Okay. Projections of reaction, family opens up different paths. Flows I'm attracting. Feel whole again. Just pop up. Freedom, joy, calmer, connected, more exciting, more fulfilling. I will step on my. There you go. Right. That's it. It's that when you get unstuck, everything that you have been locking in through the lies gets to show up for you. And I feel like you all know it. That's why you're here tonight. So now my question is, what is underneath the lie of the fears that prevent you from having all or any of this? And is it the lies that you acknowledged earlier? Or is there something deeper? Okay, so everything that you've now created awareness of, all of these comments that are here, I've seen them all. What is holding that lie in place? Because it's a lie. to believe that you don't deserve it. It's a lie to believe that you won't be able to be happy. Doubt is a lie. And doubts are lies that you continue to tell yourself, that you keep on buying into as if they're true. What brought that lie in? Insecurities and fears of being lonely. So what lie is being recreated that keeps that experience from coming up or that belief from coming up? Okay. Okay. There's some great things coming through here, and you guys are doing amazing. So my question to you now is, you've acknowledged more untruths. And you keep on acknowledging more layers of untruths that are solidifying them as living the lie that you're living. So my question to you now okay, my question to you now is, what is so significant for you to keep on recreating lies? And hiding behind the truth? Okay, so I'm going to use an example here. Emma says people like us don't get to have lives like that. That's a lie. But you bought into that lie that created the lies that have resulted in the life that you're living. So what makes you keep on choosing that lie and validating that as more significant than the true greatness of you? Okay, make sure you're taking deep breaths in this, because I know it's bringing up a lot of energy, which was exactly the point tonight. I did warn you, I can't say that this won't make you cry. Okay, but we want to bring that energy up to expel it out, because you don't deserve to keep on punishing yourselves like this. You don't deserve to keep on torturing yourselves with the lies that you keep on creating and solidifying and creating and further creating, that takes you into a deep, deep, deep sense of lack. And it doesn't matter what the lack is. Lack does not refer to money. Let's make that really clear. Lack is lack. Lack of love, lack of good health, lack of nourishment, lack of personal care, right? Whatever your lack is, it is being solidified because you are locked into lies. And the lies are being even more recreated through the lies that you tell yourself. But I want us tonight to acknowledge the core lie, the one that sits in your solar plexus that you just aren't grabbing onto. I am the problem and have always been the problem in our lives, so I don't deserve success. Let that go, because that's not true. That's a lie. Okay, the not good enough is coming up a lot, and we will make sure that we clear that tonight. How can you be something that you've never shown how to be? My own trust and others' approval. Scared to outgrow my family because they suffered because of my existence. That's not true. People suffer because they suffer. They can never suffer because of you if you haven't intentionally done something to them. Let me repeat that again. No one can suffer because of you unless you have done something intentionally to them. You can only suffer what someone has intentionally done to you. And if you are suffering something that someone hasn't intentionally done to you, it's a story that you're telling yourself so you can remain in suffering, so you can fit in with more people. That's my experience. I'm not saying that's gospel truth. That's not divine truth, but that's my experience. There's a lot blocking me from the root line. Okay. Core lie, I have no power for it and I'm unworthy. Okay. I feel I'm blocking myself from unraveling the lie. And you will. There will be a part of you right now that's avoiding, and that's okay. But we're going to get to the bottom of this tonight. Okay, so you're holding on to the lie of attack because there may have been a truth in your story where you got attacked. So you've latched onto it and gone, that's what happens to me. Right? Because you didn't acknowledge the victimization, but you rejected it and decided that, do you know what, I'm just going to look away because I don't want to be classed as a victim. And again, this is the shit that happens in the healing community so much. Personal development and personal growth says don't pity yourself. You're not a victim. Don't fall into victim mentality. But how about that part of you that was victimized that needs acknowledging? Because something happened. It's really important that we acknowledge that part of ourselves that was victimized in whatever capacity that was. Doesn't mean we have to stay in it, but it needs acknowledging. And if we don't acknowledge it, it always comes back to haunt us. It always comes to the thing that you get to in a healing session or a meditation. You go, really? This again? We're back here? Right? I do the Mrs. Doubtfire thing the whole time, the whole fucking time. Right? Because it's like, really? You're coming back to this again? So it's also about surrendering it so that you can go, I know I'm not a victim, but I was victimized. And that part of me needs a hug. He or she needs to be acknowledged and to be counseled and say, hey, I see that this happened to you and I'm sorry that that happened to you. It's not your fault. Let me just come back to your messages here. Okay, by blaming my family, I'm covering up my fear of getting out in life and fail. There are feelings of hating myself because I allowed it to happen. I allowed myself to trust and love others completely, but they broke me. And that makes me want to ask, how much have you allowed to happen in your life because you needed it to break you so that you could have a life that you could make and really create. If you look at life before, we could even go back as something as little as 5 years ago. So if you went back 5 years ago, would you be where you are today if you hadn't addressed all the things that you've addressed in the last 5 years? Absolutely not. Sometimes you go, why the bleep did I even bother? What made me start, right? But the thing is that you wouldn't have had all the great experiences and be living in the bliss that you do today if you hadn't started doing what you've been doing. And sometimes, I was saying this to somebody earlier today, sometimes we choose the struggle and the pure difficulty of life to really be able to make us in the way that we intended to be here, not the way that we were raised. Not that there was anything wrong with the way we were raised, because from a soul perspective, we came here to have these experiences, to learn virtues and to develop and to grow and to be more compassionate and to shift the generations of generations that need us to help shift the consciousness of this planet. So at a soul level, most of this is somewhat intended. The lessons, not necessarily the suffering and the trauma. Right? So how much did you need the trauma to happen so that you could be the best version of you, so that you could really break the mold of what you were looping in your lifetime, what your family were creating, to break out of the cycles and the molds that kept you and have kept you up until now extremely limited? Okay. You could be looping anything for any reason. And the best way to know is to ask the divine. Don't muscle test it, ask. Muscle testing is great, but you can override it. Okay, if you want to know something in its truth, ask the universe, the creator, God, Allah, whatever you call that beautiful unconditional love energy. That's where you're going to get your true answers. Ask to be shown without fearing the truth. And it creates magic. Sorry, let me just put the light back on this. So Grady, you don't have to buy into anything, right? You don't have to buy into anything. What you have to understand for yourself is that you don't have to suffer. And suffering, when we are aware of what is going on in our lives, what has been happening or what is happening, is either we're in alignment or we're out of alignment. Either we're making choices that enable us to live the life that we want to live, or we're making choices that disable us to live a life we want to live. And there's no love and light in that. It's truth. And by no means, please never feel that I'm here trying to convince you to live a happy life. I'm just here to share with you that it's possible. And I also know that it's very difficult. when you're not living a life that you're happy with. Been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, worn it back to front. And when we're living a life filled with lies, we are indoctrinating ourselves more and more into the suffering. Which would then lead me to ask you, what do you love about suffering? And that's a question I ask myself often. Okay, if something's coming up for me and I see something is looping, I'm asking myself, what do I love about this problem? Okay, so if money is your problem right now, ask yourself, what do I love about not having money? If relationships are your problem or the thing that you're stuck in right now, ask yourself, what do I love about having shitty relationships? Okay, if your mother's your problem, what do I love about my mother showing up like this? Whatever the problem is, ask the question, what do I love about X showing up like this? Okay. How it makes me grow. I get looked after. You learn the value of things. Okay. So my question to you all is like, would you like to know that you can grow, that you can be looked after, that you can have the value of things, that you can feel valuable and be valued without having to suffer? And of course, you don't have to say yes. So how many of you believe that you are your story? You are you and your story is not you. Your story is your story, but you are not your story. Because your story keeps on changing every time you change. The way you see your past changes every time that you heal. Every time you have a conversation with somebody that changes your perspective, you change. So your story changes. But how many of you are going back and recreating the lie of the story as if those healings didn't happen? As if those euphoric moments where you're like, shit, yes, that's what it was the whole time. But you're going, oh, I won't integrate into that healing. X, Y, Z, and whatever excuse or lie you make beyond it. I don't know who I am without my story. It's like it's my identity. So you're wearing your story. And all that can ever show up for you is anything that's in the remit of that story, because you're trying to live something that you are not. You're not a shit person. You're not unworthy. You're not the lies that we've identified here tonight. You're not the lies that you keep on telling yourself you are. But you keep on telling yourself you are those lies because you're trying to be your story. So the next question I have for you is, are you willing to no longer be your story? And to know that the story is a part of you, but you are not it. And that you can move beyond it and create something so much more joyful for you. Okay, so a lot of inner child healing to be done here tonight. Okay, I have stirred up enough energy for us to do a really powerful clearing. So if you're not already comfy, please feel free to get so. If you fall asleep, don't worry, it's late here. And I know for some of you, it's early hours of the morning. So thank you for sticking with me. Dimi says, just realised that I'm creating problems only to fix them afterwards. Yeah. So get comfortable. Just make sure that you can hear my voice. If you do fall asleep, don't worry, you will have the replay. And you can listen back to this as many times as you like. Every time something comes up that you feel stuck in, you can just revisit this, revisit the questions, work through these questions on your own accord, and then do the clearing as many times as you like. Okay, so get comfortable, and when you're ready, close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and blow out. Take a nice deep breath in and blow out. I now want you to place your awareness into your heart space. And from this space, I want you to witness the energy of your heart expanding through your body, going out of your body and through the soles of your feet. And I want you to witness this energy creating roots. And witnessing these roots going down into Mother Earth. And as they reach the center of Mother Earth, they are connected into all that is love. I now want you to witness this energy from Mother Earth traveling all the way up these roots, gently entering into the soles of your feet, loving and caressing every cell in your body. As this energy flows up through your legs, your knees, your thighs, into your pelvis, and lovingly wrapping its energy around your spine, healing every chakra, rebalancing it and harmonizing it in pure love. I now want you to witness this energy gently coming out of the top of your head and forming a ball of light. Imagine placing yourself into that ball of light and gently floating up into the sky. Going through the clouds and into the universe. Noticing all the galaxies, the planets, the stars, the moons. As you float through, out of the universe and through different layers of light. Some dark lights and brighter lights. And through a golden light and into a jelly-like substance. Imagining what it feels like to be pushing your way through. And coming out the other side into a beautiful pearly white iridescent light. The brightest light you've seen, but one that doesn't hurt your eyes. It brings love and healing to your body. If you feel or see any energies or people that are not of unconditional love, go further into this light. Go higher and higher. And here we're going to ask for all that was acknowledged here tonight to be lifted, pulled and released from each and every one of us. And if it's okay with you, can we now give an instant healing to all parts of you that created lies, that locked in more lies, that has resulted in you living a lie that you're living today? And any fear that you have locked into the lies so that you don't let them go for whatever reason, can we now clear all of that on all levels, across all dimensions, time, space, and realities. And any and all energies of darkness working through the darkness to prevent you from being in your truth, from being in your light and aligned to the greatness of you. Is it okay if we now end all vows, oaths, commitments, promises, obligations, and contracts, curses, and black magic for you to be controlled by any energy of darkness? And can we replace all of that energy within you with pure, unconditional love? Calling in the beings of unconditional love that can support you on your journey to take stance in your life over any energies of darkness that have controlled or manipulated you to be anything that you're not, including any of the lies that we acknowledged here tonight. So anywhere you have rooted yourself so deeply in the lies that have disabled you from living the life you want to live, manifesting, attracting, being aligned, being in flow and abundance in all its nature, can we now unlock the lies, lift, pull, cancel, and release them all into the divine light? Can we show you that it's safe for you to release these into the divine light? That you can give up control of needing to be locked into the lies, and that it's safe for you now to be aligned with your truth, aligned with your high self, and for all parts of you to know and know what it feels like to be worthy of being the ultimate you. And anything that's not that or aligned with that, is it okay if we now lift, pull, cancel, and resolve it all on all and any level that it is still operating on now? And all the lies that are locked into your experience now, that are killing your joy, that are destroying your desires, that is destroying your hope, your faith, your focus. Can we now release all of that into the divine light and replace it all with the highest truth of who you are, of what you truly know, at the right pace and in the highest and best way for you? and anywhere you're choosing to ignore how powerful you are for whatever reason, but especially for any vows, oaths, commitments, promises, obligations, curses, or black magic, known and unknown. Can we now acknowledge them all and have them lifted, pulled, cancelled, and dissolved in the divine light here and now? And everywhere you decided that you weren't worthy, or that you had to create doubts, or any of the lies that we acknowledged here tonight, in order for you to remain stuck, so that you wouldn't live the life that you truly dream of. Can we first of all mark that as done and complete? Shown you that you have done that many times, and that now it is safe for you, that you know how to, and that it is possible for you to be free and liberated from all of the lies preventing you from living in your joy now. So anywhere you're blaming yourself, your parents, your siblings, for life as it is today, which is contributing to the lies of your existence, can we send a healing of unconditional love to all that that is, and to all the moments of shock and trauma that created the blame, all the unfair events, all the times where you were treated badly or wrongly and couldn't understand why. So it was stored as resentment. Can we now lift, pull, cancel, and release all of that across all dimensions, time, space, realities, and in all languages into the divine light, and have it resolved and healed within you instantly now? All of the pressure that your body has had to endure through holding on to any of these lies, can we now lift, pull, cancel, and release all of that trauma, shock, grief, sadness, and sorrow stored within your body, and have it sent into the divine light? Can we teach your body and remind your body that it knows how to live without storing lies? And that you can release these lies without going through a healing crisis? Take a nice deep breath in and blow out, releasing all of that energy that's been stored in your body all this time. Can we now show your body and you, all parts of you, that the trauma is over? And anything that's stored in the core of you after any moments of shock and trauma that you solidified as the truth in any way, shape, or form for any reason, can we now release those lies? The lies created in shock and or trauma. And anywhere you were told that someone had to be at fault for something that they decided was wrong or that you decided was wrong, that has locked in or created more lies for you in any way, shape, or form, can we release all of those now into the divine light and have it replaced with unconditional love within you? And everything that you have been unwilling to see in yourself and others, in knowing the truth, which creates the lies of yourself and others, and the image that you have of yourself and others. Can we now lift all of those veils of illusions and have them sent into the divine light? Can we teach you that it is safe for you to live without living compelled by the illusions and by the law of illusion? And anywhere the law of illusion has infiltrated your being in any way, shape, or form, is it okay if we now fully release you from the law of illusion? And can we show you that it is safe for you to know the truth, the divine truth of you, and that you know how to see yourself through the divine's perspective of you? And can we now also release any addictions, attachments, hooks, or cords to suffering? And anywhere you made any vows, oaths, commitments, promises, obligations, contracts, blood bonds, or anything of that energy to suffer in order for others to recognize and acknowledge you, can we release all of that too now? And any residue of anything that we acknowledged here this evening. Is it okay if we now lift and pull all of that into the divine light too, and replace it with unconditional love in you and all parts of you? And anywhere you gave away or lost any of your soul fragments to any of the people that you acknowledged here this evening, can we recall all of your soul fragments from them, have them sent into the divine light, washed, cleansed, and resolved, and replaced to you through unconditional love? And any of their soul fragments that any part of you is holding on to, can we now lift, pull, and release all of those soul fragments of others into the divine light, have them washed, cleansed, replenished in unconditional love, and sent back to their rightful owners? And can we teach you that it is safe for you and remind you that you know how to live without carrying the soul fragments of others? That you can be connected with others through divine unconditional love and release the need, addiction, or attachment to being in lack in order to know those that you love. Take a nice deep breath in and blow out. Can we now show your body that it fully knows how to live without holding on to lies, without holding on to trauma, and that it is safe for you now to surrender it to the divine and be lovingly guided to the greatness of you? I now want you to bring in front of you that younger part of you that you acknowledged earlier, that has been treated unfairly, that is feeling the pain of these lies. And I want you to bring that version of you in front of you now. Look them in the eye and tell them that you love them. Tell them anything that it is that you need them to know at this time. Or you can simply ask that they be upgraded with your awareness, gently, easily, and effortlessly for them. And bear with that part of you for just a moment as it has this upgrade, understanding, and healing that you have had much more time to process. I now want you to embrace that part of you. Hug them so your heart is touching their heart. And that slowly and gently you merge into one another with your heart being healed in unconditional love. Any anger, any rage, or frustration that you've experienced from holding on to these lies, we're going to ask for all of those to be lifted now, if that's okay with you. Can we now teach you that it is safe for you to release all blame of yourselves and others? That you know how to live your daily life without blaming yourself and others. And that you know the difference between blame and responsibility. That you know how to be responsible. That it is safe for you to be responsible without blaming yourself or others. And as we release this energy of blame, can we now also release any energy, known or unknown, of shame and guilt, and release it from any part of you that is locking it in through the lies? All and any trauma carried in your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, liver, your sexual system, your brain. And we now have all of that energy lifted, pulled, cancelled, and released into the divine light and replaced with unconditional love. And anywhere you've been blaming others for the lack that you've experienced in your life in any way, for any reason, can we lift all of that now into the Creator's light and have it washed, cleansed, and resolved in unconditional love? And all the ways that you decided that you had to be in order to be acknowledged by others, can we let all of that go now? And any entities that are locking these lies in place, can we send them all into the divine light now? Can we release any vows, oaths, commitments, promises, or obligations for you to be obliged to be in service to others more than you are to yourself? Including any entities or waywards, fallen spirits, and or any energies of darkness. Can we now give your body a full energetic upgrade, cleansing and releasing all of the lies that you've locked into your body, releasing them from your physical body, your auric field, the energetic body, and having them dissolved in unconditional love now. Can we restore peace, calm, and harmony within your body? And any pain that you have been holding on to or have locked in your body as a result of any lie, can we now send all of that into the divine light? I now want you to imagine yourself standing in front of you, this version of you that you are now. And I would like you to ask yourself for forgiveness. And then I would like you to forgive yourself. And all the difficulty in that, we're going to ask for it to be lifted, pulled, and sent into the divine light. And I want you to just take a moment here and fully acknowledge you. All the little things that you have done, all the big things that you have done to contribute into you being here in this moment, present with yourself and healing yourself. And now, embracing all that you are, completely releasing the idea that you are your story. And if that's okay with you, can we let and release all of that now? Acknowledging the parts of you that were troubled, shocked, traumatized, victimized, and surrendering the story so that you can be the truth of who you are without having to be your story. And anything that's in the way of that, can we now lift, pull, cancel and release it all, including any entities, any energies of darkness of any kind, and sending them directly into the divine light. Any black magic or any curses, locking any of this into place, can we now dispel all of that and resolve it with unconditional love? And can we now send a healing of unconditional love into your nervous system, replenishing it, rebalancing it, and harmonizing it, for it to fully communicate the truth And can we now download you with knowing what it feels like and knowing that you are blessed with protection? And to solidify that, I would now like you to witness unconditional love energy flowing in through your crown chakra and downloading you with all of the feelings that we've acknowledged here in this session. And if it's okay with you, can we fully integrate this healing now? Can we teach you that it is safe for you to fully expand into the greatness of you? And can we now download you with the knowing and the feeling that it is safe for you to now instantly manifest and actualize in your life? That it is safe for you to live beyond the lie of the reality that you have created, surrendering all parts of you that are validating any lie, for you to now be aligned with the truth of who you really are. And anything that does not allow that, we're going to ask for it all to be dissolved now, marking this lesson as done and complete. Can we now show you and your body that it is safe for you and that you know how to move forward beyond this healing? That you know what steps to take and which are the best steps for you through the divine unconditional love energy. Can we now show you that it is safe for you to receive your wealth, your happiness, abundance in all its form, the successes, the dreams, the goals, and the desires, and that you know how to, and that you do move forward in receiving with ease and grace. Taking a nice deep breath in, blow out. I want you to witness a waterfall of energy, of pure unconditional love flowing over you and through you, revitalizing every cell in your body to be aligned with this upgraded version of you, cleansing any toxins, releasing any toxic heavy metals at the right pace for you. I now want you to witness this beautiful waterfall of light going through your body, out from the soles of your feet, trickling back through those roots, cleansing them and upgrading them too, with this new awareness as you are now reconnected back into the core of Mother Earth. And from there, witnessing the light of Mother Earth springing all the way back up to and through you, out into the divine light, so that all is connected through unconditional love. I want you to take a nice deep breath in and sigh on release. Take a nice deep breath in and sigh on release. I now want you to bring your awareness back into this space. Wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into this space. Don't worry if you've fallen asleep. The upgrades and downloads will continue through this sleep cycle. For those of you who have come back, welcome back. Just let me know how you're feeling. The energy feels different for you. Good, sleepy and lighter. Stiffness in my neck, mostly on the right. Okay, so what are you being stubborn in? Shana, I'm seeing you for the first time, and wow, it was so powerful. Felt all. Thank you. Thank you for receiving. So give yourself some time, a couple of days of sleep cycles to fully integrate it, to be in the flow of that energy, because this was a big clearing. Getting unstuck from the lies is huge. So I just want you to take a moment and feel into the liberation and movement. Move your body, move your neck, your arms, your shoulders, flow, stretch, do whatever it is so that you can step into and be that energy that you came here to be. And acknowledge that you are not your story, you are you. You are the true magnificence of you. No one else can be that or compete with that. And you know that now. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for being here this evening. Gone on much later than I intended to, but for those of you that work with me often know that I always follow the energy. So thank you for being here for almost 2 hours on your Monday evening. Sending you lots of unconditional love so that you integrate this through this sleep cycle and possibly tomorrow's sleep cycle if you need it to. And for those of you, there's a few of you, for those of you in the Really.Simply.You Level Up Lounge, I will see you tomorrow evening as we go through another journey of surrendering, which is our theme for July and August. Thank you to all of you joining from all the gorgeous all the gorgeous countries on this planet at all these different hours. So I thank you all for being here too. For those of you from Greece and Cyprus, Σας ευχαριστώ. It's now 1 o'clock in the morning there, so thank you for staying up so late. For those of you that's early in the morning, have a wonderful day as the rest of us go to sleep now. With that being said, everybody, I'm going to love you and leave you. I will send you the replay tomorrow. Rest for now, and if you need anything, you know where I am. Good night and take care.